Hello, I'm Marilyn Hemingway, and welcome to A Gathering Place. I said, I'm stepping back because we have young voices who want to be heard and they're moving on something.
Branding is really important to you and your business.
Even a basic type of technology, you learn it all.
And people are
Good question. Good afternoon and welcome to A Gathering Place. We have a special show, folks, for you today because it's all about voting. Yes, we are a Chamber of Commerce, but as I have said before, this is not your daddy's Chamber of Commerce. We are not your typical conservative Chamber of Commerce. Yes, they do tend to be conservative. We are about small businesses. We are about our community, the Gullah Geechee community that you find in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. We are about economic uplift and creating generational wealth. And to do that for our community, more than often than not, you have to buck the system. And that's what we're about. So we're about the Gullah Geechee Chamber of Commerce, economic uplift and generational wealth. We're also about the Gullah Geechee Leadership Institute, policies. We're advocating for policies and issues that positively impact the Gullah community. And also the Gullah Geechee Chamber Foundation, where we're raising funds to support the educational programs of the Gullah Geechee Chamber. So we welcome everyone today joining us, and we also welcome our special guest, Donald GIlliard, for joining us today, because we're going to talk about voting for a few minutes. Then we're going to actually leave you because we're going to have a slideshow playing, just giving you the website to go to from Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, telling you about early voting and how you can vote, where you need to go. Type in that web address and go to those sites. And then, folks, we encourage you to go vote this November 3rd, 2020. Vote like your life depends on it, because it does. We're welcoming special guest Donald GIlliard with us. Good afternoon, Donald.
Good afternoon, Marilyn. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Oh, well, it's exciting time. It's voting time, and that gets a lot of extra energy and boost. I'm tired physically, tired mentally, but I'm going to press on.
Isn't that the truth? So, folks, before we get started, remind you, we got about 15 minutes with Donald and myself today. After that, we're just going to be playing a slideshow, encouraging you to vote and giving you voter information. But while we are on, drop a couple of questions or comments in your comment section. We will quickly try to get to those quickly before we sign off. But Donald, I brought you on because you are a longtime political consultant on races from school board all the way up to presidential races. And I wanted to bring you on so we could talk about how important it is to vote. Give us some information, Donald. What do you see going on, and why is it important that we need to vote November 3rd?
Well, Marilyn, I'm 63 years old, and I've never seen anything like what's going on in this nation, in this country right now. I never imagined that this country would elect the individual they elected president in 2016. Mm-hmm. I think I understood the context of it, and it made me realize that we're still dealing with racism in America, because I think there was a tremendous backlash from the fact that America woke up one day and said, "My God, there's an African-American president." And I really think that was the undoing of Hillary, and that's why she lost the race. And, so I've just been doing everything I can in the trenches to work as hard as I can, registering young voters, engaging young voters, and doing everything that I can to help making difference, do the work.
So, academic and historian Henry Louis Gates, he did a famous quote talking about when Obama was elected, some white folks just lost their mind.
Yeah.
But and it's the truth, unfortunately. But I do want to add this. Not only is it backlash on a black president because we elected a black president, it's backlash on the fact that this is going to be by 2040, if not sooner, a majority black and brown country.
Yes.
And ironically, we're going to be catching up with the rest of the world because the rest of the world is majority black and brown.
Yes, it's multicultural. Yes.
But America, if you read beyond what we are taught in our school system, and that's an unfortunate thing, but if you read beyond that, you will realize that this country was founded on racism and a caste system, CASTE. And it was founded for the benefit of land-owning white males.
Yes.
And you take that, and white people have taken that for granted for years because the system has benefited them.
Yes.
And I have always consistently said black people have been the ones, in spite of the fact that in the Constitution it said we were 3/5 of a human, and in the Constitution women are not even mentioned. That we are the ones who have held this country accountable to what it wrote on paper. Because when it said man, it actually is mankind. And mankind is humankind, human beings, man and women.
Yes.
So, that's really what it covered, even though it was written for white land-owning males. And we're seeing a backlash to the fact that demographically, black and brown people are going to outnumber white people. They will be the minority.
And I think, Marilyn, that's what creates a tremendous fear in white America. Because I refuse to believe that they don't recognize who was elected in 2016 and 45.
Well,
And it's like he was the last bastion of hope that we are going to be able to stop this invasion of black and brown people from taking over this country. And so all of the laws, and I look, Maryland, at the battle going on right now, because there's really going to be a battle in this election after November the 3rd, after Tuesday, all kind of Supreme Court fights, stacking the courts with conservative Republicans, ready to go into court. I mean, right now the Supreme Court says in some states, the ballots cannot even be counted after November 3rd. Mm-hmm. Some states said, the Supreme Court says, well, you can count them up to 7 days after the election. I mean, contradictory things within the Supreme Court. And so all of those contradictory messages they're sending out, that it's going to be ugly. And I fear for this country. I really, really do. Because on both sides, I think it's going to be very, very contentious. Because, we're not militias. But I'd be damned if we're going to just let them take this presidency. So black and brown people and like-minded white people, we all going to have to stand up to fight for this country. Whatever we have to do, if we have to shut it down, we have to go to Washington, D.C., whatever we have to do, we're gonna have to stand up. And we have the ability to do it. It's in our DNA to do it. When I think about all the sacrifices of our ancestors and what they have done, Maryland, for this country, we haven't done those kinds of sacrifices, and it may be time for us to do it.
There's an expression that says that if you've ever wondered what you would have done pre-Civil War during the period of enslavement, what you would have done during Jim Crow, what you would have done during the Civil Rights Movement, Reconstruction, this is your moment. And I truly believe that we're facing a moment. And I'm actually sad to say a lot of what I've been talking about the last 10 years, I'm not surprised about what's happening today.
Yeah.
Because this is actually bigger than Donald Trump.
Yes.
This is why we have to flip the Senate and keep the House.
Yes.
The Republicans have has a part, and I'm sticking my neck. I'm not even sticking my neck out here because I don't feel that I'm sticking my neck out of here. I got to tell my people. I got to tell the truth. And when I say my people, black, brown, and white allies, because this is serious.
Yeah.
This is about life or death, and I'm not saying that to exaggerate to get
No,
you
it
out
is.
vote. You and I have enough experience to know what's happening.
Yes.
And when people are backed into a corner, such as a Donald Trump, or has white people who have always assumed this country is a white country,
Yes.
taken for granted, they're feeling backed into a corner. And what do you do when you're backed in a corner?
Yeah.
You come out fighting.
You come out
And
fighting.
that's what's happened. That is basic human instinct.
Yeah.
So we got to protect ourselves. We got to play self-defense. But self-defense isn't necessarily waiting for the fight to come to you. Self-defense is being proactive in being secure, protecting yourself and putting the things in place that will allow you to be protected and also to continue living.
Right.
And this is why we have to vote. It's not about who you like. And voting should never have been about who you like. Voting needs to be about who is going to be the person that's going to allow me to achieve what I need to achieve in the life that I have been given in the United States of America.
Absolutely. Marilyn, we brought my stepson home from college so he could vote. And I've seen others bring their children back home from college so they could vote. Is really, really critical. And I think some of what we've been dealing with is that they don't think that we will vote. When you look at some of the decisions that are being made, it's like they really don't expect the 18 to 30-year-old black kid to vote. And what they've done, I hope you peeped this recently, they've got these rappers coming out and all endorsing Donald Trump in this election. And you know, Marilyn, because I come out of the 60s. You know, I come out of James Brown, Say It Loud, I'm black and I'm proud. You know, I'm coming out of the OJs and Where Are My People? And Marvin Gaye.
Yep.
What's Going On?
Yep.
A consciousness of music that carried us, infuriated our spirit. And so when I see the rappers doing this, you know, it's very, very, very disheartening to me. And it just lets me know that we've got extra work to do for the young folks. And because we have to fight for them. You know, I have an interesting dynamics in a story, Marilyn, because, you know, I spent 20 years in a federal prison.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in there with a lot of the young guys, you know, and a lot of them are very talented, made some mistakes in their lives. And really, when you started teaching them and they started reading and understanding, I mean, they get a sense of consciousness, but they idolize these rappers. And so I don't know if the rappers realize that their comrades in their suffering, they need relief. They need fair judges in those court systems to get relief. And what they're doing, you know, is very, very disheartening. It really, really is.
You know, we could go on, and I know we're short for time, and we want this slideshow to keep playing so people have information. I do agree with you, Donna. Let me tell you, as a black female, I tried to get more educated and understand. I'm actually reading this book right now called Caste. Are you reading this?
No, I gotta read it.
The origins of our discontents, and it really gets to the foundation of why we are in 2020. This goes back to the beginning of this country. That was founded on race and a caste system. Just like in India, you hear about the untouchables. It talks about the Nazi regime. And people need to realize the Nazis developed their system from the American South in Jim Crow.
Absolutely.
And they said, oh, America perfected it. Literally, this book gives it to you. You know, and Isabel Wilkerson wrote The Great Migration. That was the first book. And this one has been very emotional for me in the sense that it's verifying and validating a lot of what I knew and studied from other
Yeah.
books. And this is
Yeah.
just one book, but it's so timely now on what's happening in our country.
Yeah.
And I actually have hope, Donald. And I don't say this lightly. And going back to these rappers, they're
Yeah.
foolish. I'm going to say this as a black female, and y'all can,
Yeah.
I've been here long enough. I can take the hit. So y'all bring it on. Bring it on. But these rappers, Ice Cube, what's the other one?
50 Cent and
50 Cent, and what's the other little one?
the little short guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know his name. I know his name.
I can't remember his name. You know, it's escaping me now.
Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne. Yeah. And honestly, I'm telling my age. I own it, y'all. I got enough experience, and Lord knows, I hope I know I got a little wisdom. I ain't got all wisdom, but I got a little wisdom. Yeah. They are foolish people. Yeah. And if they really wanted to help the Black community, why didn't they talk up 4 years ago, 8 years ago, 12 years ago? They've been around long enough to offer something. But if you know history, if you understand our community and know where we come from in these enslaved, the free labor camps that people like to call plantations, there've always been the Negro in the free labor camp that sold out.
Yeah.
Because they were willing to get the little crumbs. And when it's all said and done, these rappers and stuff get their money from the corporate music industry.
Yes.
And that's what people need to understand. They are not independently wealthy. They got to go kiss somebody.
Yes.
You know, and I may not have the money that they have, but I don't have to go kiss somebody.
Yes.
To have what I have. You know, I'm wealthy. They're rich. People need to understand the difference between wealth and rich. You know, and they don't understand. So they're willing to sell their souls and sell their community out for crumbs. And if you read books like this and get educated and get informed, and you will start to understand that. So for me, as soon as they said, "Oh, you talking about you gonna come up 3 weeks, 2 weeks before an election that people have been working on since 2016, and somehow save the Black community," that in and of itself discounts who you are.
Yeah. Well, Marilyn,
not playing games with our lives. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I love my oh no, I appreciate you, sister. Let me tell you. A year ago, I was at the Jim Clyburn golf tournament in Santee, and Roland Martin was there. And Roland and I played spades together. And we had an opportunity to sit down and talk. At that time, I'm with Bernie Sanders' campaign. We were just talking about the race in general. And he said to me, he said, "Donald," he said that the Trump administration are working on a program and a plan to get 15 to 20% of Black men. He said that their research have showed them that they were not going to do well with Black women, but that they could make some inroads with Black men. That's a true story.
I can believe that.
And he said this is why the Second Chance Act for the guys in prison, this is why he's reaching out the way. They honestly believe that they could get the 15 to 20%, but they have to get it through Black men. And they were going to institute a program to do that, you know? So I think now pulling in the rappers and all like that, who I always want to look at these brothers as spewing pride in the racial community and bringing positive message, you know, economic empowerment for our people and uplifting our people out of this condition that they're in. I expected that out of those rappers, and but I just learned that, you know, it's somehow or another it's all about a dollar, because the rappers they're benefiting some way for doing this to go against their base. There's been things offered to them, and it's very sad.
Well, Donald, they've made you know, I'm old school rap. I mean, I was around old school rap. That's what
Yeah.
I came through college in the 80s. All right.
Yeah.
Much more positive message. And this is connected to voting, folks, because their goal is to either suppress our vote.
Yes.
Or bamboozle us into not voting, which is another form of voter suppression, or voting for Donald Trump, which is you're throwing away your vote. Okay?
Right.
If Donald Trump has no intention of helping the Black community, it's all superficial.
Oh, there's no question about that.
It is not about systemic change. That's why these rappers do not understand. This is transactional. This is very shallow. It is not systemic change. All right. But I suffice it to say these rappers who are supporting, if you listen to their lyrics and stuff, and I have not listened to the song's lyrics per se, I see it in writing because it's out there. But when you are calling Black women bitches, you're calling your mama a bitch.
Yeah.
So you ain't got no intention of helping us. If you could go that far, Black women, we are the mother of all. So if you call one a bitch, you calling all of us a bitch, you calling your own mama a bitch.
Yeah.
So but you've made money off of this because we are bamboozled in our head. That's why this is bigger than Donald Trump. I'm going back now. The Republican Party has been heading to this point for the past 50 years, ever since the Civil Rights Movement and Roe versus Wade. All of that is rolled up into this. The immigration law of 1965. People don't even know the Civil Rights Movement, voting rights 1965. There was also an immigration law that allowed more Black and brown people to come to this country.
Absolutely.
That's the law that broke that wall. That's why they want to build a wall, because of that law, the Civil Rights Movement. A lot of immigrants don't even realize that. They come over, they've been so bamboozled by TV, think, African Americans, all they doing is shooting and looting and killing and robbing. But because of African Americans, you actually have had the opportunity to come to America, the so-called shining light on the hill, because we worked past the immigration law in 1965. Our people.
No doubt.
So people need to get educated. That's why I keep going back. Our friend Brandon Upson, our common friend Brandon, Jamal Brown. I asked him about this because it's disturbing to me. Clearly, I love my brothers. I love my brothers. I got 3 biological brothers, but I love my Black brothers.
Yes.
I'm in the fight with you. And I asked them, why is this happening? I had to educate myself.
Yeah.
I understand where we are as Black females in general did not go to prison as much. But that is changing now because they're sending us to prison too.
Oh, absolutely.
That's increasing. They are locking up little Black and brown girls now based on this. So this is what disturbs me is these are uneducated people that they're using. They're clearly using them.
Yeah.
And they're allowing themselves to be used for crumbs of money. Because when it's all said and done, and you gone on to your higher spirit, God, the pearly gates, whatever you believe in, you're gonna have to answer to that charge.
Yeah, but
you have to answer to that.
Marilyn, it's the American capitalistic society. And what it is it's the haves against the have-nots. And it puts us where we become a fish in a bowl in terms of I'm just looking out for me. If I make me some more money, I don't care if my next door neighbor's hungry. I don't care if the kid next door don't have shoes to go to school. It's a sad indictment of what's going on in a capitalistic society. It really is. And I know we don't want to veer off in terms of that, but I just look at some of the issues that the Republicans fight for and what they fight against. I look at a healthcare issue and them not wanting everybody in this country to have healthcare. Why do I not want Miss Jean up the street to have healthcare? Why do healthcare has to be according to how much money you make? We all children of God. We're all human beings. I want that for any human being. If you're sick and you need a doctor, I think you should be able to go.
Go to a doctor.
That's humanity to me. And so all of that's on the ballot, Maryland. All of that's on the ballot.
It
And
is.
I just hope that our people will actually go out. I mean, don't even accept anybody telling you that there's no reason to vote, because there is reason. The numbers are going high, but I'm hearing CNN said something today about African American turnout is not as high. And I'm like, why would that be? You know?
I honestly, when it comes to mainstream media, and I am a trained journalist, that was my major and degree in
Yeah,
college. And I take a lot of what they say with a grain of salt,
right,
only because TV is driven by ratings and it's infotainment rather than true journalism. Because
right.
I sit here, I don't, I'm very discerning on my news that I watch, because I sit there and it drives me crazy, because I'm like, why didn't you ask this question? Why didn't you hit back at this person? You let these talking heads come on and you don't question them. And that's the
Yeah,
job of a journalist, is to
yeah,
question who, what, where,
absolutely,
when, and why. Explain to me why. How'd you get that
absolutely.
information? Where'd you get that information from? And they just put talking heads on for the
Right.
entertainment value or the ratings value rather
Yeah,
than the truth.
yes.
And we have as consumers of that news have to be more discerning in what we listen to. So I say all this is, that news may change a little bit tomorrow, Donald.
Yeah,
What matters is the count on election day.
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
and yes, I'm actually heightened by the turnout. We can see for
Big
ourselves.
turnout.
And me talking to people are much more aware,
Yeah,
and they're going to turn out. But we have to fight to the very last,
absolutely. Absolutely. Well,
and
Marilyn,
yeah,
yeah, we're going to be there on election day. We've got a system in place where we'll have bottled water and snacks and stuff for people. Encourage them to stay in the line. What you all did on Saturday was very, very successful. You know, that meant a lot to those people, as you can
yeah,
tell.
yeah,
And it gave us a festive type of environment, and people felt good standing there. You had the music playing, people were able to get a hot dog, people were able to, and it was nonpartisan. We
and
just,
it was nonpartisan because we
yeah,
are about people
voting
exercising their right to vote.
to vote. Yeah. And so
Mhm.
we're going to be doing this across the state, coordinating strategic precincts to make sure that the people have water or snacks, or if they need a chair to sit in, or regardless of how long that line is. We want people to stand up, and we really ask you to do it in memory of your ancestors. If you don't want to do it for yourself, if you feel frustrated, you feel hopeless, you feel like it doesn't matter, don't do it for yourself. Do it for your ancestors. Do it for grandma,
Mhm.
granddaddy, and great grandmama. Do it for them, because
Yeah,
they would do it. Yes.
yeah, they sacrifice much for us. I do want to end this, Donna, because I know you got to
Yeah.
go. I got to go, and I want to
Yeah.
show this information that when
Yeah.
someone tells you your vote is not worth it, let me tell you why your vote's worth it. It's worth it because you need to live another day to change the system. If for
Absolutely.
no other reason, vote because you've got to live to change the system. And it's living not only physically, but emotionally and mentally. You've got to live so we can thrive. And if we don't have a democracy, then we cannot. What else do you think you're going to be in?
Right.
So vote so you can live another day to change the system
Yes, ma'am.
that our ancestors died and sacrificed for us.
Absolutely.
So Donald, thank you for joining me today. I
Thank
much
you. I enjoyed it.
appreciate it. I know you and I are out there. I'm gonna be a poll watcher, so I'm looking forward to.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having my people have their right to vote. Ain't no intimidating around me because I'm not playing with. But
That's wonderful. Just make sure everybody can vote, Maryland. Don't let them turn anybody away. Make sure that you help whatever they got to do if they have to call, and we'll have a number for people to call to with any voting types of issues. We're
yeah,
not going to allow them to turn anybody around. We're going to help them vote.
Yeah, we got a system together. We gonna make this happen, and y'all just come on out and vote. Do not feel intimidated because there are gonna be plenty of poll watchers out there to make sure you exercise your right to vote.
That's right.
Donald, thank you
Thank
for
you.
joining us.
Thank you for the invitation.
Get some rest. It's gonna be long.
Yes.
We know how it is. Get some rest and everything.
Thank
And I'll see you. I'll probably see you before election day, but I'll definitely
Yeah.
see you election day.
Thank you. Y'all have a
You're
good night.
welcome. Thank you, Donna.
All right. Bye-bye.
So, folks, I'm going to end this with a slideshow that's going to play for a while. It's going to be voting information from Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. We want to thank you for joining us. Joining us this Wednesday coming at a gathering place where we will have Amy Kelly on, founder and creator of the International Gala Film Festival. She'll be joining us because we have the International Gala Film Festival in partnership with the Gullah Geechee Chamber happening this next weekend, November 6th and 7th, because we are because of COVID, it was shortened and everything and rescheduled this year. So we're going to get at least 2 days in this year at Brooklyn Gardens showing some films, opening reception online and in person this Friday night. But you'll learn more this Wednesday at 4 o'clock, November 4th, as a matter of fact. Just tune into a gathering place and learn more about the International Gala Film Festival that's coming up. We definitely want you to support that. But in the meantime, we have a slideshow with some voting information. So if you need to get to your state's voting website, within the Gala community, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, we're going to show that slide. And of course, we want to remind everybody and encourage you strongly to please vote. Early voting, if you can, on Monday tomorrow, and definitely on Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020. Do not let this opportunity pass. If you want to live and thrive another day, get out and vote, folks, on November 3rd. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you at Election Day, November 3rd.